Now, after what's felt like a really disappointing couple of weeks in FPL, it might be time for you to hit the wildcard button. Here is my favourite wildcard draft. Right, so we're going to start off then by looking at the goalkeeper and defenders. I've gone for Sam Johnston and Mitchell in a Palace double up. I really like the run of fixtures that Palace have got over the next three. And then come game week 16, I've noticed a really nice fixture swing between Palace and Chelsea. Basically, the Palace fixtures turn really difficult and the Chelsea ones get really, really good. So the likes of Sanchez, priced similarly, of course, to Johnston, and Colwill, priced similarly to Mitchell, could be really good options to rotate to once game week 16 comes about. Other two defenders I've gone for, Trippier and Saliba. I just think these two guys can be set and forgets across the whole season. Trippier will just come up with attacking returns and clean sheets. Sometimes when you don't expect them, he'll just be so consistent across the season. And it's similar with Saliba, obviously, with a bit less attacking upside, although of course he did score in game week 12. I do just think Arsenal are looking quite strong defensively, and across the season he will come up with a really good level of clean sheets. I know 5.3 million feels quite expensive for him, but there aren't many clean sheets to go about at the moment anyway, and I think Arsenal are the team that are one of the most likely to keep them. Just wanted to talk quickly about Tyreek Mitchell and the wider Palace defence. Obviously, I've got Johnston mixed in there as well. The reason I've done that is I think they really are emerging as one of the best defences in the league so far this season. I mean, 12 games, 5 clean sheets is a really nice record compared to some other clubs like Brighton. I still don't think have kept a single clean sheet yet this season. It's been quite few and far to come by, these clean sheets. But Palace have been managing to keep them, and the next three fixtures are really nice. And then, as I said, there's a really nice option to hop on the Chelsea assets from game week 16 onwards, who I would say are another team that could well keep a good run of clean sheets. Mitchell, though, above the other Palace defenders, for me, I think he just offers a little bit more attacking threat than Mark Gahey. Gahey and Mitchell were the two that I would go for. Anderson, 5.1 million he is now. I don't think you can justify paying over 5 million for a Crystal Palace defender. Don't get me wrong, I think they're decent defensively, but there are a lot of other options at that price that I think are better, whereas Mitchell and Gahey, both at 4.6, will do you just fine. The reason I've gone for Mitchell, though, he is putting up slightly better underlying attacking numbers, and he actually has more returns in general. I mean, he's got 1 goal, 1 assist. Mark Gahey, he's done nothing from an attacking perspective so far this season. I don't think there's anything to split the two in terms of, nailedness to the team, likeliness to start, etc. They're both nailed, every game they played for 90 minutes. So I think just with that slightly more attacking threat, Mitchell is the one to go for. Now, I wondered if you could do me a favour. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure to leave a like rating, subscribe to the channel as well, set the notification bell so you can see when I upload next. If you're really enjoying the video, please consider joining as a channel member. You'll get early access to all of my videos, and when I deadline stream, I'll give you priority when I rate people's teams in Draft Hound. You can also, if you want to support the channel in a different way, check out my shop down below. You can buy yourself a golden goal sticker or a mug. All right, back to the video. Midfield then, I've gone for Salah, Bowen, Saka, Cole Palmer and Eze. I really like Cole Palmer. I'm not going to go through him in detail because kind of all know the threat that he offers, really. Penalties, it seems to be for Chelsea. There is a little bit of doubt surrounding him and Nkunku being in the same team. Will Cole Palmer continue to start? But I've got to be honest, I think he will. He'll play on the right wing. Nkunku through the middle, Sterling on the left. I think that could be a really dangerous setup. And Cole Palmer looks to be confident enough to be taking those penalties for Chelsea. And as I said, game week 16 onwards, that fixture run is, it's really, really good. And he could well absolutely explode in that run. And at 5.1 million as he is now, I think it makes sense to get on him early. At face value, those Newcastle, Brighton and Man United fixtures might appear to be quite tough. I know I've picked Trippier, but at Newcastle, they are a bit depleted in terms of personnel. Brighton, yet to keep a clean sheet this season. We all know what Man United have looked like, so I wouldn't rule out Palmer doing something in all of those games. Mo Salah, I don't need to talk about him too much. I mean, he's genuinely a captaincy option every week alongside, of course, Erling Haaland. Jarrod Bowen, absolutely nailed for West Ham for 90 minutes. He is putting up similar numbers to the ones he did of a couple of seasons ago when he was one of the best players in FPL. We're seeing that happen again. The next three fixtures, I mean, Tottenham, I know originally you'd say that was a tough fixture, but how they looked against Wolves, I think that's another one where I wouldn't be too concerned about starting Jarrod Bowen. I think he could score in that fixture. Then Burnley and Crystal Palace, I think, you know, there's a chance for goal there as well. Saka, I just think he's just a set and forget option similar to Bowen. Now to play every game for Arsenal, is probably their best attacker, gets attacking returns when you least expect them. Brentford, Wolves and Luton up next. I think that's just an amazing run. And we've already spoken about the Palace fixture run, but Eze is definitely one of my favourite midfielders at the moment. Just to talk about Eze in a bit more detail, I just think he ticks every box in FPL. He's nailed for 90 minutes, he takes the penalties and the free kicks, and of course just ticks the talisman box for Crystal Palace. He's had 2 returns in the 2 games that he's played since returning from his injury, although I wouldn't even say it was 2 games, I'd say it was basically 1.5 because he came on in the second half against Burnley. Palace have just got a really nice run of fixtures for the next 3. 3.1% ownership makes him a really nice differential. And with Elise coming back as well, I think teams find it a bit easier when it's just Eze in the team for Crystal Palace because they have one player they can really target. But with Elise playing as well, it just adds to their danger. And I know Liverpool and Man City mixed in those final 2 there. Palace are not afraid of an upset result, right? We've seen them do it even at the Etihad, so I wouldn't put it past Eze to be able to return in those games, particularly just the fact that he's on penalties and free kicks. You know, they can be scored against any opposition, so I really like him as just a set and forget option. I'm always boring when I talk about the 2 forwards in FPL, but I can't look past Haaland and Watkins as the 2 best forwards at the moment in FPL. Haaland, I think, is probably the best captaincy pick for game week 13. It's obviously really him versus Mo Salah, maybe Saka mixed in there as well. But another point really on Haaland is you can make a draft without him, but I'm not sure you can make a better draft without him. Like, yes, you could got more money to spend on the midfield, but who would you pick really? I mean, Heung-min Son is probably one that misses out on this team, but given how Tottenham have looked at the moment without James Maddison in the team, I don't think Heung-min Son looks anywhere near as threatening as he has been, which makes me think, why would you not just go for Haaland? I mean, you can captain him in game week 13, game week 14 as well against Tottenham. Yes, the expected points are a bit lower, but week on week, he just looks to be the best captaincy option. And then you've got Watkins. I mean, I feel like owners that have bought him in the last couple of weeks have gotten really unlucky. He's looked threatening and dangerous in any game I've seen him play for Villa against any opposition. I wouldn't put it past him to be able to upset and score against Man City as well. I just think he's another one. He's nailed to play for Villa, gonna play 90 minutes on the most part. He's just a set and forget option. And here is what the team looks like as a whole. Now, most of these players I don't currently own. So some of them I do, and their price have risen since I bought them. So you're not seeing the actual value that you might be able to buy them for in FPL, which is why I put a question mark on the price in the bank, basically. This team should be affordable for everyone, though. I've left, certainly with my sort of FPL bank balance, I've left enough in the bank that means most players should be able to build this team. We've even gone for the cheapest goalkeeper in the game from Brentford there, so there might be slight adjustments you could make to this team. Lascelles, I think, is just a shoe-in bench option. Charlie Taylor, the cheapest starting defender in the game. I think it makes sense to have him. It's the same with Archer at 4.5 for Sheffield United. Yeah, if you can't afford all of these players, there might be some substitutes. I mean, Eze could go down to someone like Anthony Gordon. Mitchell, you could go even cheaper in defence, someone like Livramento, who I do expect to get some minutes for Newcastle. Gabriel could come in for Saliba, but he adds a little bit of risk in terms of starts. You could, of course, downgrade Trippier as well if you really wanted to, but I think this team is just absolutely solid. Most of these guys nailed to playing 90 minutes every game. No risk about them not starting, with the exception of maybe Cole Palmer with Nkunku coming back, but how well he's played for Chelsea, I just think he's nailed in that team. Anyway, I'll stop blubbering on. That's the team. Alright, and that's the end of the video. I tried to get through that quite quickly because you can't really labour the points on wildcard drafts too much, so hopefully you enjoyed the fast pace of that video, but me talking about, I think, the key players that make up this draft and some of the key points that I wanted to get across. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like rating, subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just there, and I'll catch you in the next video.